Hi there. Thanks for joining tonight's short talk and guided meditation. I am going to keep this really brief tonight um, because there's something kind of weighing on me, and I always like to keep it real, I think, because I'm not somebody who's here to sort of be up here talking down here to you. I always want to be walking side by side. A good friend of mine yesterday reminded me of a saying that a meditation teacher of ours has. And the saying is, I'm the guide on the side, not the sage on the stage. And so, yeah, I think that when we can tell stories that allow people to see themselves in those stories, that's really how we're able to connect and walk with each other instead of me kind of walking ahead and pointing out to you all the places that you should go. I want to kind of walk beside you. So, anyway, tonight I'm going to tell you just a really short fable, relate that to my life, my experience, and then we'll go do a guided meditation in the theme of self compassion again for this month, because this month of October has been, for me, self compassion month. So, the story fable that I want to share, and I don't even, I might be muddling this. This might not actually be a fable. I'm making this up. But I think I have heard people tell me a story or something along the lines of there's a wise man and his student, and the student is carrying this boulder up a hill and really struggling. And the wise man says, "Is that boulder heavy?" And the student says, "Yeah, it's really heavy." And the wise man says, "Well, why don't you put it down?" That's it. End of story. And that story for me, whenever that popped into my head today, I guess I was thinking about it because we all have boulders that we're carrying around. We have something heavy that we're carrying around. One of the prompts that the New Shoe Group facilitators kind of have for when we do New Shoe groups, one of the prompts is, what burden would you like to put down today? Or what burden are you carrying around that you would like to put down? And I love that prompt. And it sort of implies that you can put it down. And I think for some of us, we are carrying boulders that we either don't know that we're carrying, we just know that something feels heavy. And for others of us, we may be very aware of the fact that we're carrying something heavy, but we can't put it down. You might be a single mom who can't put down the boulder of having to work a full-time job and not spend as much time as you'd like with your kid. You might be somebody who is carrying around the boulder of having a chronic illness, or even somebody who is experiencing long-term symptoms from COVID. That's something heavy that weighs on you, and yet maybe you can't put it down. Others of us might be carrying around the boulder of, I don't know what to do with my life. I know that I don't like where I am, but I don't know what else to do. Other people are carrying around the boulders of racism, sexism, homophobia. Other people are carrying around the boulders of anxiety, depression. I mean, there's so many heavy things that we carry around that they kind of become part of us, or we become part of it. We start to identify with those boulders and really just living with them every day. And the more boulders we pick up, the heavier everything feels on us, to the point where we're just under this constant weight. So while it would be nice to put down some of these boulders, sometimes we can't do that. And so the personal experience I want to share, tagging on to that story, is there are some things that, yeah, I can put down. other things that I struggle harder to put down. And so until I can figure out how to put them down, I want to learn to change my relationship with them. Maybe learn to carry them a little more skillfully. Maybe learn to ask help to carry them around. So, for example, for a long time, one of the boulders that I carried around was this sense of just purposelessness. Is that a word? Having no purpose. That I wasn't living a life that if I died the next day, I would feel like I did anything of benefit for anyone. That was a really heavy weight that I carried around for a long time. And I still carry that around. I think I put it down and I pick it up a lot. That's a boulder that I can choose how to put down. And then there's some other boulders like student loan debt, huge boulder, for example. Student loan debt still weighs on me a lot. I'd love to put that boulder down. But unless I want to declare bankruptcy, which would be a choice, that's another conversation about recognizing the fact that everything at the end of the day is a choice. And just because we don't like the outcomes doesn't make it any less of a choice. Seeing that is very empowering. That's a whole nother conversation. But recognizing that, yeah, I don't want to declare bankruptcy. Like I am going to pay off my student loans. So how, in the meantime, do I change my relationship to that boulder or that weight of student loans that I'm carrying around? And over the last couple of years, as I've shared in other videos, not only the practices of mindfulness, but the practice of self-compassion has really been transformative for me. It's a continuous practice. Okay. This is not a switch that you flip that all of a sudden makes everything better. It's a continuous practice, but it's one that's allowed me to change my relationship, especially to those boulders that I feel like I can't put down right now. So that maybe I'm not resisting carrying them so much, or so that maybe I ask for some help or support around carrying them. So the practice of self-compassion can help us to either maybe set the boulder down or to help support us as we carry around the boulders that we don't feel like we can set down right now. And the point of self-compassion isn't to put the boulder down. It isn't to make us feel better. I want to say that again. The point of self-compassion is not to make us feel better. Kristen Neff, one of the experts in self-compassion, emphasizes this over and over. We don't practice self-compassion to make ourselves feel better. We practice self-compassion because we deserve it. We deserve kindness, comforting, nurturing. We deserve to be protected and cared for. So this practice of self-compassion isn't to make us put down the boulder. It isn't to make us feel better while we're carrying the boulder around. We practice self-compassion because the boulder's heavy and we deserve to be comforted and cared for and offered some kindness in carrying the boulders, the weight around that we do. So tonight I want to do a practice to invite us to recognize the heaviness that we're carrying around and to bring in some kindness for that. And the reason is, remember, I've shared the equation that suffering equals pain times resistance. If we are resisting the boulder, whether we are martyring ourselves thinking that we have to carry it around, or whether we are choosing consciously to carry it because of a value that we're trying to honor, but it's still heavy. Either way, we have some resistance to the boulder. We have some resistance to that weight. And so if we can start to minimize that resistance, we can minimize our suffering, because the painful thing of carrying the boulder around is going to be there. It might even be painful to decide if you're going to put the boulder down. So the pain will be there. With self-compassion, we can change our relationship to it so that we're not resisting the fact that it's there and thereby decreasing our suffering. So becoming aware of that heaviness of the boulder and then practicing the 3 components of self-compassion, which are the awareness, first of all, recognizing that we're all carrying around boulders. We all have different weights on us. We have that shared common humanity. So you are not alone. And then third, bringing some kindness to the fact that, yeah, this is heavy. This sucks. This weighs me down. I don't know what to do with this boulder. And bring some kindness to that because you deserve it. Not to force yourself to feel better or even try to feel better, because that can be sort of what we call a spiritual bypass, because we're just trying to cut off the existence of the painful thing, which in and of itself is a form of resistance. So we're not trying to make ourselves feel better. We're giving ourselves some kindness around that weight because you deserve it, because you're human, you're here, you deserve to be shown love and kindness. So let me take you through this practice tonight. And again, it's a practice. So I offer you the possibility of this practice and the patience of this practice, because it's not going to flip a switch. It may actually stir some stuff up. And if it does stir some stuff up for you, please reach out to me, because there are some things that we can do to work around that also. And if at any point this practice starts to feel uncomfortable, like it's stirring up too much, stop the practice. Go pet your dog. It's Friday. I was going to say go have a drink. That's probably not the healthiest way to comfort yourself, but whatever. Go watch Schitt's Creek. Go watch Ted Lasso. Again, new episode out tonight. Go do something to take care of yourself if the practice starts to feel like it's too much. Okay. So go ahead and find a comfortable position. I'll give you just a few moments to do that, whether it's sitting or lying down. And just take a few moments to come into whatever posture feels comfortable for you tonight. As you're settling into your posture, I invite you to close down your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or you can leave them open, focusing on a point on the wall or out in front of you, or even cast your gaze downward toward the floor. Noticing the body settling in, trying to just let float in the background the rest of what's happened throughout your day-to-day, whatever else might be calling to your attention right now. Letting it all be there, knowing at this moment you can give yourself permission to be here and be fully present with this practice, and give yourself the gift of these few moments of time for yourself. Noticing the points of contact between the body and whatever surface you're on. Feeling the weight of the body, whether you're sitting or lying down. And let's all begin to take some deep inhales and exhales to give our bodies, signal to our bodies permission to be here fully. Let go of any tension, tightness, anything that might want to soften a little bit, to do so. And we'll breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So begin by taking a deep inhale in through the nose, filling up the belly, the chest, and then exhaling gently through the mouth, slowly, noticing the belly and the chest fall and the air passing back through the lips. And then taking another inhale, maybe a little bit deeper this time, all the way into the belly, and pausing for a moment to hold it. And then exhaling slowly, Gently through the mouth, exhaling as much air as you can. And one more deep inhale. Let this be your deepest breath yet today. All the way in through the nose, imagining the breath reaching up to the top of the head, all the way out the tips of the toes and the fingers, holding it for a moment. And this time, exhaling through the mouth with a little bit of force, pushing out all the air, inviting the body to soften and relax wherever it can. And then let the breath return to whatever normal looks like for you today, however that is. There's no need to try and control the breath or make it be any particular way. And take a moment to find the place where you can feel your breath the most, where you can notice it the most. Maybe that's at the tip of the nose or at the back of the throat as the breath comes in and out, or maybe it's in the rise and fall of the chest or abdomen. Be curious about where the breath is most noticeable for you. And let this place be your anchor, your home base, where you can return your attention to refocus, bring your attention back to the breath whenever you need to. And letting this anchor, this home base, gently rest for you in the background, knowing it's there for you if you need it. And bringing your awareness now to something that has been weighing on you. Something heavy that you've been carrying around, maybe not too traumatic, but something that you notice has a heaviness to it, a weight. Maybe this is the stress of finances, or children, or health, work, purpose, whatever it might be, something that's been weighing on you. And as you're bringing this situation to mind, start to notice, where does the body tell you that this is weighing on you? What physical sensations can you start to bring your awareness to that might be telling you that this is heavy? This feels heavy and like it's weighing you down. So maybe that's in your forehead or temples or jaw. Maybe there's some kind of lump in your throat, tension in your shoulders or back. Maybe you feel a heaviness in your chest. Or maybe there's some uneasiness in your stomach, or tightness or holding in your lower back or hips. Invite yourself to be curious about where this weight shows up for you in your body. How do you carry that boulder around? Where does it live for you in your body? And whatever you notice, hold it for now without judgment. It may be difficult not to judge it. You might notice that it's painful or unpleasant or tight. So there may be some underlying judgment like that. But for now, try not to judge it as good or bad or wish it away. Allow it to be there. And be curious about, where else in your body does this weight, this heaviness show up for me? And wherever this weight or heaviness is showing up for you, it can help to remember that your experience of this weight, this boulder, is very unique and personal to you, and everyone is experiencing some type of weight or burden. Everyone you know, everyone you meet is carrying around their own boulder. And although we can't actually see the boulders that we're each carrying around, we can trust that it's there. That every person you encounter is feeling somewhere in their body weighed down and heavy by their own boulder. So you can remember that you are not alone. You are connected to the billions of people on this planet because we are all carrying our own boulders, our own weight, our own heaviness. And now I invite us to show some kindness, some love, some understanding to that part of us that's carrying that weight. It might help to place a hand on the parts of the body where you can feel that weight. And we can repeat some phrases to help bring some nurturing, some kindness to ourselves for carrying that weight around without trying to get rid of it or wish it away. Becoming aware that we're carrying it and remembering that we're not alone, we can then begin to just treat ourselves like we would treat a friend who we saw carrying a really heavy boulder up the hill. And if it helps for you to imagine saying some phrases to someone else who's carrying their own weight, or to imagine some good friend or loved one talking to you, if that's easier for you to do, I encourage you to do that as we offer ourselves some phrases to show this kindness and nurturing. And I'll give some phrases, and you can use these or find some that resonate better for you. We might want to say something like, I know the weight of what I'm carrying. I feel the weight of what I'm carrying. And I can accept myself fully. I see the weight of what I'm carrying. I can feel the weight of what I am carrying. And I can accept myself fully. I can see the weight of what I'm carrying. I can feel the weight of what I am carrying. And I can accept myself fully. So practice this for a few moments. And if you want to have other phrases that allow yourself to open to that kind of kindness and love, I invite you to do that. You may even just want to say to yourself, it's okay, I'm here. Or I got you. It's just one phrase or a few, something to show yourself the kindness that you would show a good friend. And if your mind starts to wander, you can return your attention back to repeating your phrase or phrases, or you can rest your attention on your anchor and take a deep inhale and exhale. And begin again with the phrases. And repeating your phrases to yourself one last time. And then gently letting them go. Returning your awareness to your breath. And take another deep inhale and exhale. Waking up in the body, maybe wiggling your fingers or toes, giving yourself a gentle stretch. And before you open your eyes, noticing how you feel in this moment, being curious about whether that weight has shifted. We're not trying to make it shift, but be your own experiment. See what this practice might open up for you. And notice whatever is there and hold it in the same kindness and love and compassion. And if that weight is still there, know that you can hold it with kindness for yourself to allow space for that weight. You can accept yourself fully just as you are, even with that weight. And then when you're ready, you can gently begin to blink your eyes open. Thank you everyone for joining tonight, for watching after the fact. If you have joined live, please drop me a comment and let me know. If you're watching on replay, please just drop replay and let me know that you were here. And if you have any questions about this practice or anything you'd like to share, please feel free to send me a comment or an email directly at Michelle with 1L at lifefromthesummit.com. And I look forward to seeing you all back here next Friday. Thank you.